Okay, welcome everyone to this deep dive. Today we're digging into something that seems, well, pretty straightforward on the surface. How did America actually get its name? You probably think Christopher Columbus, right? That's the usual story. But
Mhm.
the material we're looking at, these excerpts from The Naming of America, they tell quite a different tale. It's surprising, actually.
It really is. The document makes it clear that, yeah, Columbus reached the Americas from Europe, no question. But he was, you know, totally convinced he'd landed somewhere in the Indies, like the eastern bits of Asia.
Right, so he thought he'd sailed west and ended up east.
Pretty much. The really key insight, the understanding that this was something completely new, a whole continent unknown to Europeans
Yeah.
that came from someone else.
Okay, so who was it then? Who figured it out?
According to this source, that credit goes to Amerigo Vespucci.
Vespucci.
Yeah.
Okay.
During his voyages, this was around maybe 1501, 1502, he made these observations, collected evidence, and he came to this really huge realization. This isn't Asia. It's well, a new world, a separate landmass altogether.
Wow, a new world. That's a
Yeah.
big conceptual leap. So how does that connect to the name America?
Okay, so while Vespucci's having this geographical, aha moment,
Mhm.
there's this German cartographer working away, a map maker named Martin Waldseemüller.
Ah, a map maker enters the story. Waldseemüller. Got it. What was special about his map?
Well, his map came out in 1507. It's called Universalis Cosmographia.
Hmm.
And it was pretty groundbreaking because it was one of the very first maps to actually show this new landmass as separate.
Not attached to Asia.
Exactly. Depicted as its own distinct continent. It basically put Vespucci's insight onto paper, you could say, onto the map.
Okay, so he visualizes the new world idea.
Yeah,
And I guess if you draw a new continent, you need to label it.
precisely. He needed a name.
Yeah.
And the document says he wanted to honor the person whose insight made this clear.
Vespucci.
Right. So he decided to name it after Amerigo Vespucci.
After Amerigo, but wait, the name's America. How do you get from Amerigo to America?
Okay. Well, this is where the naming conventions of the time come in. The document points out Waldseemüller used the Latinized version of Amerigo's first name. That's Americus.
Americus. Okay.
And then used the feminine form, America.
Huh.
It was apparently standard practice then to give continents feminine Latin names, like Europa, Asia.
Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense. It follows the pattern. So Waldseemüller puts America on his map in 1507. Was that it? Did everyone just accept it immediately?
Well, here's a little twist the source mentions. Waldseemüller himself actually seemed to have second thoughts later.
Really? He tried to change it.
Yeah, apparently on some later maps he tried using other names, but, it was kind of too late.
The cat was out of the bag.
Exactly. That 1507 map, the Universalis Cosmographia, it was widely distributed.
Mhm.
Other map makers saw America. They
Yeah,
copied it.
It's stuck.
It stuck. It caught on really fast and eventually became the name for, well, the whole double continent, the entire hemisphere.
So if we recap based on these sources,
Mhm.
Vespucci has the crucial insight, New World. Waldseemüller, the map maker, illustrates that specific idea on his very influential 1507 map. And he makes that conscious choice, America, using the Latin feminine of Amerigo's name, fitting the convention.
Right. And even though he wavered later,
The name had already taken root. Wow.
it really shows you, doesn't it, how powerful just being the first to clearly state, or in this case, map a really big new idea can be.
Yeah.
It literally determined the name for half the planet.
It's an incredible story, really. Makes you think, doesn't it? What big ideas or discoveries are being mapped out or articulated right now that might end up defining how we see things, maybe even naming things in the future? Something to ponder.